A Monster from the Past Part 3.
Past. In a small town...
Okay, this is yet another movie clip.
Buried in a dense forest.
I don't know if it's Hollywood, but it kind of feels like it once again. Does it feel like Hollywood? I don't know, but it feels like it's just another movie clip.
A lonely explorer who loved nature. The man dreamed during one of his regular expeditions to encounter an ancient monster. Someone that no human had ever seen before. And he succeeded. The photograph you're looking at was taken in the middle of the 20th century. It shows this very traveler and either a tiger or a crocodile.
Is this supposed to be some sort of edit thing? That this is... I don't think it's editing, but I think it's just a regular old sculpture.
Or maybe even some crossbreed of abnormal size. To be honest, the image causes me a wave of emotions.
Oh my God!
But at the crest of this wave, there's doubt, of course. Doubt that it's all true. After all, how can such a tiny man have so much...
Use the Avatar. Used a clip from Avatar. That's a bit of a weird decision.
confidence in the good mood of the monster? It could have grabbed him at any moment and devoured him, and no one would have helped the man. In any case, the picture looks pretty impressive. Write in the comments what you think about it.
Decent editing, though.
Laysan Rail. Up until the 9th century, the island of Laysan was a paradise for animals, and especially for birds. First of all, they were very abundant, which made it easy for them to find a mate for their offspring.
Laysan Rail, is it? Yes, it is.
Secondly, birds had no problem with food shortage and lived in ideal conditions.
Another cartoon. Once again, there's a casually shown cartoon thinking that no repercussions will be there. Sorry.
The creature I'm talking about, the Laysan Rail, became so lazy on this paradise island that it lost the ability to fly and began to simply walk on the ground. And if this bird had been large, like the eagle, I could understand it. But it was a little bigger than the palm of my hand. After a while, all sorts of people began to come to the island massively. They were gathering raw materials, exploring the territory. In general, everyone came for their own reasons, and the Laysan Rail needed to know what people wanted.
These look much more like chickens than Laysan Rails.
The bird could not fly, as you remember, so it just ran out towards people and jumped almost under their feet. At the same time, the Laysan Rail was not afraid of anyone and was even ready to steal meat from people's tables. For some time, people didn't pay attention to it, but soon the priorities of raw material collectors changed, and they began to catch these birds. This is where the Laysan Rail found itself in an unenviable position. As a result, the species is officially considered extinct.
It became extinct due to the habitat loss by domestic rabbits and ultimately World War II.
People tried to correct this situation, but all attempts were in vain.
They haven't shown a photo of a Laysan Rail. Hero Wars ad. I've seen this ad like a gazillion times already. It's the third time that I saw this ad pop up in this video.
Zanzibar Leopard. And now I'll talk about an animal that's most likely extinct. The chances of this are great, but they're not 100%, and this cannot but rejoice. The Zanzibar leopard is endemic to the island of Unguja, also known as Zanzibar Island in African Tanzania. Scientists have come to the opinion that because of the remote location of the island where the leopard lived, it could not interbreed with other individuals and formed a separate family line, becoming a separate subspecies of the classical leopard. In the past, if scientific articles are to be believed, the Zanzibar leopard was smaller than other leopard subspecies with a slimmer build and shorter legs. It's also believed that its fur was darker and thicker than that of the others. It was first encountered in the 19th century, but this did not become the way into the study of the new subspecies. Rather, on the contrary, because of it, people went in search of other leopards, but they never managed to encounter them. The last known Zanzibar leopard came to the attention of observers in the early 1980s, and in the next 10 years, the subspecies was declared extinct.
And again, clips just nabbed from a movie clip.
However, in 2018, a camera trap set up by researchers captured an image of a lone leopard on the island. In all likelihood, it was the Zanzibar leopard subspecies.
It renewed hopes for the population's survival, although some experts remain skeptical.
People immediately
It isn't really back from extinction.
followed its trail,
It can't really be classified as back from extinction because it wasn't.
but never found anything.
It wasn't actually extinct.
Perhaps these animals adapted to the conditions better than others,
Although, again, some experts remain skeptical. So, this animal status is up in the air.
and came up with amazing hiding places, camouflaged from the eyes of strangers. In fact, it's not just the video evidence that suggests the procreation of this unique leopard. There are virtually no other predators on the island where it lives. In theory, this should create a special environment for it where it will have no equals and it will be able to develop successfully and without any problems.
You're just using another species of leopard.
Golden toad.
Golden toad. Jeez. I don't think I've heard of that in ages. Actually, isn't that the same image from that conservation status thingy, whatever, Wikipedia thing?
Well, predators were created to survive even in difficult conditions. But let's better take a closer look at this unusual toad. These creatures are usually quite hard to see. They have a dark green color, easily blend in with the terrain, and jump quickly. But the individual I'll talk to you about stands out from the crowd. It's the golden toad, and no one painted it that color on
It is an extinct species of true toad.
purpose. It was first encountered in the middle of the 20th century, but only 20 years have passed since its discovery, and these jumpers have never been seen again. Scientists have been studying the area around it for a long time, but have not gotten any leads and clues. It's likely that the golden toad became extinct, taking all the secrets and peculiarities of its existence with it into the next world. And this video was the last one on which it was noticed.
The golden toad is now classified as extinct as of 1989 and hasn't been upgraded since, indicating that it most likely has went extinct.
Toads of unusual color. Rare leopards.
You just showed the text of, let's see here. You just showed the text here, passenger pigeon. You should have corrected that.
Toads of unusual color. Rare leopards, and a certain giant from the past. All these creatures may disappear for quite logical reasons, but the one which permanent and eternal life I did not doubt was the pigeon.
Passenger pigeon. Again, right?
How could these feathered creatures ever disappear from the face of the earth? They have everything to maintain their population. Instincts, suitable habitat, ideal size, and skills. Although,
Hunted by humans.
maybe the representative of the passenger pigeon species was different from something of this. The birds of this extinct species were about 16 inches long and constantly migrated
And deforestation. It included hunting and deforestation.
in whole flocks in search of food and shelter. And you know, they did it very successfully. In the 18th and 19th centuries, these birds were almost the most numerous in North America. Their population reached 5 billion individuals. But no sooner had the 20th century arrived than everything changed. Hunting these birds was quite a natural occupation for the locals, which, in their opinion, did not harm nature and provided food. And real
Nah, it harms nature because without the passenger pigeon, the food chain that the passenger pigeon was in would be just affected in definitely a negative way. We don't know what it is, but the predators are going to, the things that hunt the passenger pigeon, if there are any, their population will decrease, except for the humans, because the humans will always find a way. The prey of the passenger pigeon will increase. And if that actually makes sense, because I could be incredibly wrong here.
Really, is it possible to destroy such a large population of pigeons by hunting? Turns out it is. People paid attention too late to the already obvious reduction in the number of the passenger pigeon species, tried to introduce laws, but they were not clear enough, and no one had time to correct the situation. The last nest and egg found in the wild were collected in 1895 near Minneapolis. But this pigeon, which you see, has become the last of its species and its kind. The name of this beautiful bird was Martha. She was found lifeless in September 1914. Caspian Tiger.
The Caspian Tiger. Right? Caspian Tiger.
That was the name of this beautiful creature you're seeing now. It successfully inhabited the Caucasus, Transcaucasia, Central Asia, and partly West Asia. But today it lives nowhere else.
Because it is considered extinct as of 1970. The 1970s.
The subspecies had a bright red fur with long and brown stripes. In winter, due to the cold snap, the tiger's fur became thicker and fluffier, which allowed it to easily tolerate the cold. At the same time, local people repeatedly spoke about the extreme caution and secrecy of this animal. One could live not far from the habitat of the Caspian tiger for tens of years and never see it. It was this ability to camouflage that created a number of amazing legends and myths around the animal. Many even considered this subspecies a sacred. Many, but not all. There were a number of hunters who were eager to encounter this great predator. Since it was rare and perfectly camouflaged, the price for its fur, as well as for the head, was fabulous.
Jeez, the amount, because of the humans' greed, the tiger, the Caspian tiger, was hunted way too much.
Full-fledged expeditions were organized to capture these animals, and by human efforts, as it usually happens, the animals were gone. The last
Us humans just continuously hunt a lot of these animals to extinction.
individual
As well
died
as
in
climate change, which indirectly causes the animals to become extinct.
1958. People planned to try to restore the subspecies, but preliminary estimates say that it would require a huge territory and many other nuances that are difficult to realize.
Oh no, not another app.
Chinese river dolphin. But it's not only on land that scientists conduct their research and find extinct individuals of different species and families. The same thing can happen underwater. The Chinese river dolphin has not been seen since 2002, which can't help but suggest its extinction. In 2000,
It is currently classified as critically endangered and possibly extinct. It is possibly extinct, so we can't say for certain that it is actually extinct.
2006 and 20.
It has not been seen in 40 years.
2012, there were expeditions to collect data or at least photograph some individuals, but it didn't end with anything successful. Representatives of the species were usually a little more than 6.5 feet long and weighed about 330 pounds. They also had a characteristic long and narrow beak, a pronounced forehead, and a stocky body.
Can we even call this a beak?
Their skin was usually dark gray or brown, while their lower body was white. Despite population declines, these dolphins were top predators in their environment and fed on a variety of fish species, including carp and catfish. They used echolocation to detect prey by emitting high-frequency clicks and listening to reflected echoes. When a large and powerful enemy appeared on the horizon, Chinese river dolphins enlisted the help of their congeners. They were always close to their friends and lived in groups of 2 to 6 individuals. But what, in that case, influenced their extinction, you may ask? I think no one has to guess. It's people, again. They
People, man. Humans just hunting stuff.
affected the capture of fish. That
China industrialized and made heavy use of the river for fishing, so that means it's humans striking once again.
That's the main food of the dolphins, as well as the pollution of the water. That is the place where these creatures lived. The disappearance of this species was a real tragedy for the whole of China. After all, it was one of the most iconic species of the Yangtze River, as well as a symbol of the region's rich biodiversity. Heath hen.
I think this is it for part 3. So, yeah. Parts 1, 2, and 3. All not very good. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in part 4.